Okay, today we're going to find the distance between 2 points. In a coordinate plane, the distance d between 2 points x1, y1, and x2 and y2 is the formula d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This can be derived from using the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we'll look at both ways to solve the problem today using either the distance formula or Pythagorean theorem. Let's look at example 1. On example 1 it says the figure shows a right triangle. Approximate the length of the hypotenuse to the nearest tenth without using a calculator. Okay, one way is using the Pythagorean theorem. If you look at one of the sides of the triangle, one of the legs, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And if you look at one of the legs, you can see that you have 1, 2 units. So using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we have 2 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. And we get the square root of 20. Now, let's do the same thing but using the distance formula. So let's name this ordered pair right here. This ordered pair can be named as 1, 3. This ordered pair here can be named as -1, -1. Now if we use the distance formula, we'll get the same exact answer. The distance formula is the square root of x squared minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Alright, so let's just call this x2 and x1. So if we do 1 minus -1 squared, and let's call this y2, y1, 3 minus -1 squared. 1 minus -1 is 2. 3 minus -1 is 4. 2 squared is 4. 4 squared is 16. 4 plus 16 is 20. And if we take the square root of 20, we are going to get 4.47 or 4.5, about 4.5. Okay, and that is doing the same thing using the Pythagorean theorem. So you can either choose to use the Pythagorean or the distance formula. Let's look at number 1. Okay, on number 1, if we use the coordinate plane and do the ordered pairs, this ordered pair is -3, 2. And this ordered pair is 2, -2. Alright, so remember our distance formula is d equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Alright, so let's just do it this way. 2 minus -3 squared, -2 minus 2 squared. Alright, so we're going to get 5 squared. We're going to get -4 squared. We have 25 plus 16 get 41. Take the square root of 41. We get about 6.4. Okay, so let's say that I did not use it doing the distance formula that I did it Pythagorean theorem. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One leg is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. One leg is 4. To figure out the hypotenuse, I would say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I would say 5 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 25 plus 16 gets me 41. And then I have to take the square root of both sides, and I get c equals 6.4, about. Alright, so either use the Pythagorean theorem or the distance formula. Let's take a look at the back side. Find the distance between 2 points. Example 2. Francesca wants to find the distance between her house and one side of the lake and the beach on the other side. She marks off a third point, forming a right triangle as shown. The distance in the diagram are measured in meters. Okay, so I need to find the distance between these 2 points. So we're going to use the distance formula. X2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. We can call this x2, y2, and this one x1, y1. So if we say 280 minus 10 plus 164 minus 20. So 280 minus 10 is 270. 164 minus 20 is 144. Square both of them, so 270 squared, 72900, 144 squared, oops, nope, do that again. Okay, so we're going to add them up and then take the square root of it. So 72,900. Okay, now take the square root of 93,636. Nine, 3, 6, 3, 6, and we get 306. All right, let's take a look at the last one. All right, so Camp Sunshine is also on the lake. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between Francesca's house and Camp Sunshine. Okay, so we're going to try to use both of them. We'll call this x2 and y2. We'll call this x1, y1. So we're going to say 200 minus 10 plus 120 minus 20. So we have 190 plus 100. So 190 squared is 36,100. 100 squared is going to be 10,000. Take the square root. Of 46,100. And I get about 214 and 7/10. Okay, but if I did it I could also do it using the Pythagorean theorem. If I did it with the Pythagorean theorem, I would just have to find the distance between here. So that would just be 120 minus 20 is 100. So this leg is 100, and the distance between this leg is 200 minus 10, which is 190. So if you did a squared plus b squared equals c squared, 190 squared plus 100 squared. 190 squared is 36,100. 100 squared is 10,000. Add them up. And then you would have to take the square root of both sides, and you'd get the same answer. So it doesn't matter if you use the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem.